Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live for the first time here on Dbacks Dispatch. So we'll be able to react live to everyone's comments. Our producer extraordinaire, Josh, we appreciate you for everything that you do. So it's nice that we have a little bit of a comment here in the chat, but as you see in the thumbnail and the title of the video, this is a emergency pod for Dbacks Dispatch as the Arizona Diamondbacks signed. Sorry, I can't say that on a live stream, but Joc Pederson. We signed Joc Pederson to a 1-year deal. We didn't find out really the money with it until not even 10, 15 minutes ago. Nick Pecora of AC Central wrote an article. Basically, the deal guarantees Pederson $12.5 million, $9.5 million in salary for the year, and then a $3 million on a buyout for the $14 million option. So it's a 1-year deal. Hold on. Yeah, 1-year deal, and it's a mutual option for that second season. So I'm very on the deal. Like, I don't hate the deal, but on the list of guys for DH, to be honest, Joc was like really far down on my list. Mine was Jorge Soler, JD Martinez, I think Evan Turner. There might have been one other person, and then Joc Pederson. I don't hate the signing, but it is what it is. Brett, your thoughts?
Kind of agree with you. Like, don't really hate the signing. I think it's a decent signing overall. Like, if not like great, I think it's pretty good for the team. Not really much of an overpay. Like we were saying, we didn't really find out what the value of it was until like maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. But I feel like the $9.5 million value for this year alone is pretty solid. On MLB Trade Rumors, it's saying that with I think Sport Track, it's putting their payroll up until like the 132 million projected, with the potential for them to even make more moves. Like that's where I'm happy with this move, as long as it's not the only move that they make for the rest of the offseason. I would like maybe they go get another starting pitcher, maybe they go get another like platoon DH to have when there's like a lefty in. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty solid move overall. And we'll just at least add a little more thump and a little more power into the bat.
Mike Hazen is not done cooking. There's way too much time left before even pitcher and catchers report. And this deal, it's not a lot. It's a little bit more than I feel comfortable with Joc Pederson. I was talking about it with a friend at work today. I was like, if I want to go after Joc for like $7 million, I wouldn't hate it. So it's just the money's a little on the high side. So my expectations for Joc are going to be, he's going to have to be really, really well. Gabe, your thoughts on the Joc Pederson signing?
Yeah, I guess I kind of have the same feelings as you guys, where it's like, wasn't my first choice or my second choice or my third choice or fourth choice, but he was an option. When Hazen said that they're looking for a left-handed bat, he was one of the people that I looked up, and I did, just a quick search on him, and I wasn't too impressed at first, but because if you look at the WAR and look at his batting average and everything and his OPS, you might think like, he kind of had a down year, he wasn't too good. But if you look at FanGraphs, so I know that people always say like, oh, well, nerds and their stats and stuff like that, but these stats do matter, especially when you play in a ballpark like Oracle, where it's just huge and just doesn't benefit left-handed batters at all. unless you're Barry Bonds. But for the most part, everyone there, if
That's
they're
any
left-handed
ballpark.
batters,
Let's be honest.
yeah,
Any ballpark
that,
Barry's is
well, yeah. But so I looked at his stats and I looked at his expected batting average. So he batted 235, but his expected batting average was 263, which is 30 points higher, which doesn't happen. You rarely ever have that unless you have extreme bad luck. And you're talking about, the shift and everything with Joc, and there's probably a lot of balls that bounce off the wall or just, we're caught at the warning track that are probably home runs here at Chase. Because even his slugging was 416 and expected slugging was 483. And he had a 300 and 350 on base. So if you added those numbers up, you're talking about like a guy who would here at Chase would probably be well over an 800 OPS. Um, so I don't know. I like the move. Not what I would have done originally, but the fact that we got him for 1 year, and I'm very very curious to find out how much money JD and Soler and Turner are gonna get, because he got what 9 million, right? So
yeah, that's the base,
I'd
and then there's
be
the 3 million.
yeah, so I'd be very curious to see once the details come out about how this came about and how much the other guys go for. So it might have even been closer to like 20 million. We're asking for a lot more years than the Dbacks were comfortable with, because we have some guys in the minors like Ivan Melendez, this dude's tearing it up in there. So I don't know. I like it. I like Joc, and then there's also the necklaces. Like he has his pro necklace, and if you follow any of the boys on social media, he has his. They all have their cool hookup with Alec apparently at I don't even know what that jeweler place is called, but they all get their jewelry there. And they're all posing with their chains and everything. So hopefully when the Joc comes during spring training, they all have pearl necklaces that they're showing off. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. As Derek Weezy here says, low risk, solid upside, which this could be a really good move, because if you look back at Joc's numbers when he plays a full season, there's some pop in that there's some pop in that bat. Like, just outside of San Francisco, like when he is a full-time player, at least 20 homers. And the baseball reference his projections. But again, I don't know if this was before or after the signing. About 450 plate appearances, 18 homers, 61 runs driven in. I'd be okay with that, because I don't think we don't need him to be our primary guy driving in runs. I don't think Joc's going to be hitting anywhere from 2 to 5. I think Joc's going to be probably 6 to 9. Maybe depending on a matchup, you could
Nice.
see him near the top of the lineup. But I'm very, very excited. Josh has some breaking news in the chat. Brandon Pfaadt has proposed to his girlfriend. So congratulations there to our stud playoff pitcher, which I'm hoping he takes a big leap forward here for the 2024 season. The one thing about this move that I think a lot of people aren't looking into as much, there's a lot of right-handed pitchers, starting pitchers in the National League West. The Dodgers have 4 with Glasnow, Yamamoto, Buehler, and Miller. They have only 1 lefty. San Francisco, Webb, Stripling, Wynn, Hicks, and Cobb. That's one thing we didn't talk about. Giants signed Jordan Hicks, and they're going to have him be a starter. So that's another right-handed bat. And then San Diego has Musgrove, Darvish, King, Waldron. Again, that's
He's
a
gonna
lot.
need a lot of playing time.
Yeah, he is. We can pencil in any right-handed starting pitcher. Joc's playing. Joc is playing for sure. I would not hate the idea getting JD, and he does, because JD kills lefties. JD is a lefty monster. I think the reason they did Joc is just to be safe. We get somewhat of a DH if things with Soler and JD don't work out. I saw a report today. I don't know if it's confirmed. Soler's asking for 20 mil a year. And yeah,
He's
with us
young.
signing Erod and Suarez, I think they're like kind of out of our price range now.
Yeah, we could still, with the signing of Joc, have a possibility of either. I know, like, there hasn't been any like rumors of the D-backs having interest in him, but Ryan Stanek maybe, or like bullpen help, maybe a fifth starter. At least this kind of money from Joc gives them more flexibility to still potentially make moves. And who knows, even if it's not a signing, maybe they end up having to use some of their like farm depth and their minor league depth to trade for a guy who does have somewhat of a contract. Like, I don't know what Eloy's contract is, but let's say he's going to be an extra like 10 million on the books if they decide to trade for him. Like, they could at least have that money saved up from signing Joc instead of going after the JD or Soler.
Yeah, I don't think they're done, right? Like, there's no way
No.
Mike Hazen is done. They're going to get another bullpen arm or maybe a starting pitcher, just depending on how Henry has progressed.
I would love another starting
Yeah.
pitcher.
There's still a lot of time left. There's still a lot of guys still on the market. So I don't think Mike Hazen is done. I know they talked about they want their DH to be a full-time. And I'm not sure, like, by that, did they mean like they're fine with a platoon or like a guy that's prime? His job is to be a DH, not playing out in the field. So not trying to like turn or like do a rotating group of like 4 guys at DH. You'll put some guy in the outfield for a couple days, and you have him DH, or put Cattell in at a DH for a couple of days. I think they just wanted someone where their primary role is at DH, not meaning they're playing 130 games at DH. So I think Joc fulfills this. So we'll have to wait and see. Like, if Joc hits those supposed projections by Baseball Reference, I'm completely fine with those numbers. 18 homers, 60 runs driven in. Because he's going to hit some bombs there in right center. It's a lot easier to hit at Chase Field to right field than it is because he's strictly pull hitter. He's one of the guys you would see when we had the shift. You'd see the 3 guys on the right-hand side. Luckily, we don't see that anymore.
Over under 2.5 pull shots from Joc.
Over. Easy.
Yeah.
Dude, he might have that in the first month. Like, I think, like, as I already played it, but this is probably his career highlight. This home run against the Dodgers in the 2021 NLCS against the Dodgers that turned that series around. That turned that series around. Derek, solid comment. Matt Stairs played in the wrong decade. He would be a top-notch DH. I mean, he did play DH in the AL for a very, very long time. So, but now with us having the full-time DH, yeah, he like guys like that, like a lot of guys, because of the full-time DH, their careers have been extended because they don't have to worry about playing in only half the league with half the games. So
yeah, I don't want to like I was gonna say I didn't want to like bring it up and bring the mood down, but Yasmani Tomas, he was just at the wrong time. Like this dude was hitting 30 bombs like he did in 2015.
That article is still up, by the way. Yeah, ESPN, what are you doing? Take the article down.
I mean, he could have brought in actual value to the team if we would have had the universal DH, right? Like, I'm not being dumb. I mean, I'm being dumb, but
Joc is a Dodger killer, whether he's on the team or playing for the other person. Solid comment there, William. Appreciate you for tuning in. It just depends on what was their motivation. Was this more of a to be safe, we get a full-time DH in case things with JD and Soler or Turner don't happen? At least we somewhat addressed the issue.
We're also maybe 20 days or so um, before spring training. Like we got to get these guys working with the hitting coaches and everything. Like we
Yeah.
can't wait until mid February to find out that, oh yeah, like by the way, JD is now with us and he hasn't met any of the guys, he hasn't met any of the coaches, and we don't know what to expect from him. Like happened a few years ago.
Yes, one thing that I just thought of with like Brandon talking about, like a full-time DH, because we've seen it with the past, 2 years. Torrey kind of likes to play with the DH as like an extra, way to give somebody a day off without giving them a day off. So maybe that's the reason why they went with a guy like Joc over a JD and Soler. Like again, I don't know Joc's fielding stats off the top of my head, and I believe I can pull up his baseball reference, but it's not like fantastic. It could be around the same level, but maybe their thought process is, we'd rather have Joc in the outfield. You can hide him a little bit easier than you can hide like JD or Soler. And then you can give, Seawalk an extra day off of his feet. You can give like one of those other guys an extra day off. And he can kind of play the field if need be.
Yeah, and also as the comment, Oscar is talking about the postseason experience with the Dodgers and the Braves. He won the World Series with them, right? Both of them.
Yeah, with the Dodgers 2020 and Braves
Dodgers and then the
2021.
Braves. So this is a guy who
Back-to-back
has not
seasons.
just postseason but World Series experience. And one of the things that happened last year was nobody except Thompson, right, had gone to the World Series. He
Yeah,
was in that Rays World Series, and it
Ryan
showed.
Thompson,
Like
yeah.
these are really young guys. Like all of them don't. They showed that they're ready to compete anyways. But you needed a guy with experience to go out like that. And we're talking about the other guys who were left. They also had that experience. So I mean, he seems to be a really good clubhouse guy. Um, Also, for the fans who are complaining about this, do you guys? Well, trivia question for you guys: do you know who was our starting DH opening day last year?
Emmanuel Rivera.
It,
Mm,
Oh, it was Kyle Lewis.
Haven.
Kyle Lewis. It
Yeah, it
was
was Kyle
Oh
Kyle
Lewis.
yeah,
That's
because he
Lewis,
right.
hit that homer.
who was not on the team
The
anymore
one highlight.
in
But hey,
AAA.
thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, but that's who we got now. So we're talking about we got Joc Pederson, Eugenio Suarez to replace Longoria. It's like this is a totally different team. This is a completely different team than we had last year. So if you guys are complaining about like not spending the money, not doing this, not doing that, what is Hazen doing? Why not getting these other guys? Like he's doing work. Like he's working his ass off. He's cooking. Like even if you don't see it right now, like I trust Hazen and I trust Tory
I
with
do.
these moves. Like they can turn
I
this
think there's a
guy.
lot of I think there's a lot of fans. I mean, like I've been one of those fans at times too, where like you see the Dodgers and like other teams making all these moves, and you want to get into like a dick measuring competition with them. It's like you can't do that. Like you can't
Yeah,
do that with these teams. So I could see like maybe the disappointment of like a lot of people probably were like, oh well, the big way for the Diamondbacks to answer back is like get JD. And like yeah, that's the bigger splash. But hey, like Joc is still a pretty good signing.
yeah,
Yeah. I haven't looked it up, but I can probably guarantee you, outside of the Dodgers, Diamondbacks are probably one of the top teams in terms of spending money this offseason.
yeah.
I think
Like
they're
they're
number
definitely,
3.
but I mean, the Dodgers have spent what, like $1 billion between Yamamoto and Otani. Like, yeah, like no one's gonna meet that. As of right now, the projected payroll is 137, just almost 138 million dollars, which is huge. Like it's a big
Yeah.
jump from last year, and we saw what this team did with that very low payroll. Like they went up against the Phillies. It was pretty much double, maybe even 3 times their payroll, and they beat them in a 7-game series. Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
what this team would do with this extra money now?
Yeah, and not only that, I think the actual like the payroll because was it 26 guys right for the playoffs, something like that. Is it 26 or 27? By the way, their World Series roster was literally only like 60 million. So we're talking about them being around 140 million or whatever. Like they were at 60 million compared to like the Phillies, who I think their World Series roster was well over 200 million dollars. Like talking triple the amount, and they beat them. They beat the Dodgers, and the Dodgers had to go out, spend $1 billion because a bunch of twinks beat the crap out of him.
Josh. I mean, it's not an exaggeration. It actually is because Ohtani's was 700. Yamamoto, I think, was 300. So between the two of them, yeah. If only
That-
what we
yeah,
did in
Oscar.
if only what we did in MLB The Show would translate to real life. So, but I don't think they're done. I think there's
No.
one more move, maybe another. I think when we get to spring training, like that week before, we'll see a lot of like filling the spring training roster moves, like a lot of minor league deals with a spring training invite. And so right now, the 40 man is at 40. What move? I know what move I want to make to clear that spot for Joc. And I think we're all in agreement. I think he has options. Yeah, I think he has options left. So that's why if they do, they'll just option him down. I saw someone say, well, why don't we cut one Peterson for a Pederson? Jace.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't
because
really
we
have
all
much of a
know.
spot here, does he?
No, that's
Jason?
why I could see them going with Taven because he has options.
Yeah, that's what's so weird about actual stats and then their expected stats. Like solid,
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, say I remember listening to the PHNX show earlier, and Jesse was bringing up how like a lot of his like he was the complete opposite where Jake McCarthy 2 seasons ago where a lot of his numbers look good but a lot of his expected numbers show he got really lucky. Joc Pederson was like the opposite. Joc Pederson got like screwed on a lot of his hits. A lot of like should be hits were taken away from him and all that. So obviously it's it's not, you can't duplicate an exact same season. It's not going to be completely opposite where everything's going to land for him next season, but it's at least something to be hopeful for.
Yeah, I mean that happened
This
to
is
Christian
still an
Walker
option,
last year.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar, this is still a possibility. He is
Do you think they
unsigned.
would? Is it though? Is it though? Both of them in the clubhouse again? Is it though?
It would be the funniest thing I've ever
Is it
seen in my
though?
life.
They just got to
Like,
put out
I'm
an
like-
announcement like we're banning fantasy baseball or
Did you-
football or whatever.
No, I mean like
I'm like-
legitimately, if they did sign him, that would be one of the greatest. Like that would be an instantly funny like meme and like PR video.
It
But
would be
again, I don't think they're
no,
going
but
to do that.
it would be a good pairing for the DH though.
No, I
Tommy
agree.
Pham
It's just the off field. Well, I would say off field,
The
but the slap
fantasy
happened on
football
the field.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do love
that is a
Pham.
good-
It would
like,
be cool
They
to
have
have
good
him.
attitudes. Like I really like their attitude, especially for this team. Like they're so young and so inexperienced. I mean, they have a cockiness to them, but just having Pham and Peterson there, like they're a lot more showy. They're a lot more loud. So I'm like, I feel like they would work really well together. They put them on a team. Like I would trust Torrey because I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard since Torrey took over any sort of egos clashing, which happens a lot in a lot of teams. Like, we had Goldschmidt, we had Pollock, Peralta, like we had certain guys who were like big, even Greinke, and I never heard anybody except Bumgarner, but that was just Bumgarner.
And then AJ Pollock when he left. Sorry, still not going to let that go.
Yeah. How dare fantasy football will be banned from the clubhouse. And like they're like, nope, it's not happening.
If we're
Straight
being
not
honest, like I
happening.
didn't even know the D-backs had a fantasy football thing going until Tommy Pham got traded. So I wouldn't be surprised if like he came over and he was like, all right, guys, when's your draft? And they were like, draft for what? And he's just like, excuse me? No. Come on. We're rolling this right now.
Bobblehead incident. That was like if they
That's funny.
if they do bring back Tommy Pham, Dbacks Twitter or their video department, you guys got to put something together for these two. Like just
They should
like,
put that image of like the that
reenactment.
blood and Crip or whatever with the bandanas holding them together.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Or literally if they could get like some video of the slap happening and then right when it
Yeah.
happens, it cuts to them like at a press conference smiling to next to each other.
Yeah.
That's funny. So
I mean, what do you?
yeah, say I mean, he would if we're talking like 2014 Mad Bum, like back when pitchers were still hitting. Hey, like, man, Mad Bum would be paid for it, but I don't know. It's not that Mad Bum anymore.
Didn't he hit 2 home runs off of Kershaw and Greinke, right?
I saw the 2 off Greinke in person in
I was there too. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
2017. Oh my god, he
I
killed
was
those
at that
2.
game too.
Josh makes a solid point. You can't have bad vibes when you have Suarez, Seawald, Cattell. I mean, you could just put Geraldo Perdomo like on there.
Yeah, well, the slap happened when he was with
Just the bum now.
with
Yes,
the
Mad
Mets,
Bum
right?
is-
Was it when Pam was with the Mets, right? That's when the slap happened.
No, it was when they were. I think it was when they were on the
Reds.
Reds together.
Oh, the Reds. Okay.
No, Fam was
No,
on the Reds.
so-
Joc was on the
Giants?
Braves, I believe, facing each other. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
and they came to Cincy, and then like it happened before a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a funny story. But no, if there's one move left to make, I would, because they somewhat address the DH situation. I want a starting pitcher. I want that fifth starter. Like, I'm okay if they want to go into the season with like Tommy Pham, Slade Ciccone, maybe, but I would feel better just get one more starter. Because I think the top 3 is going to be, once they're all clicking with Gallen, Kelly, and Erod, and if Thought can continue trending upward like he did in the postseason, and he do that, if he can get 12, like at least 10 wins, like we saw what he did in the minor leagues. Like he has the capability to strike dudes out. So if we could get 10 wins, 130 innings, maybe 140 innings, 130, 140 strikeouts out of a number 4, that would be huge for this team.
Yeah, that'd be a huge step up from what we got to see in 2023 with our starting rotation. So I'm looking up the free agent starting pitchers still available. A lot of them like are really overvalued. Like Hyunjin Ryu, like I don't even think he's like worth the money in general. I didn't realize he was still a free agent. Clayton Kershaw off the board. Julio Urias, shitty person. Alex Wood, age 33. He's like marketed or valued around like just under 6. Mike Clevenger's coming in.
To be honest,
bullpen arm last year.
Yeah, he goes back and forth. To be honest,
that's
I'd
why
rather go with
I'm
Tommy
iffy
Henry.
on him.
Yeah.
So that's why like for all the options available, it might be a better option for them to maybe go after a bullpen because some of the starting pitchers don't really like catch my eye. Like Jordan Montgomery is marketed at 18 million. He's gonna get more than that. Like he's gonna get paid more. No one Corey Kluber, no one Zach Greinke. Michael Lorenzen is an interesting option. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I could get behind.
Michael Lorenzen could be a part-time DH.
That's what that's a very good point too. He put up 2.0 WAR last year, and again, like 4.18 ERA. Like for the right price, he wouldn't be a bad option at least to be like, cool. Hey, it's always good to have depth out of the rotation, but again, depending on the money, it's one of those where like, would you rather just have Tommy Pham or like a young guy get the shot, which I kind of would.
So Kayla here in chat says that she's worried about the lineup against lefties. The Diamondbacks are a really weird team in the sense that they actually do better against lefties than they do against righties. So if you look at their what's it called, the WRC and all that,
WRC
they
plus,
are really good.
OPS
Yeah,
plus
WRC plus, they're a lot better against lefties. I don't really know why. It's just really weird. But they really needed help when it came to righties, and so getting Joc, I think, really, really evens this lineup out.
Yeah. So
I mean, even if you look at the lineup now, it's going to be what? Carroll number 1, Marte, Walker,
Suarez, probably Gabby, and then Joc.
Yeah, say
Gabby, Joc, and we're forgetting Gurriel, and then Perdomo.
Oh shoot, I forgot about Gurriel.
Alex
Suarez.
I mean, this is a really, really strong lineup. lot
God, I wish
stronger
we
than
had this
last
lineup in
year.
the World Series.
I think we would have won if we had this lineup because you got guys here. We wouldn't have to rely on Rivera. We wouldn't have to rely on Jace Peterson. I
Wait,
like
did
Pham,
Jace
but
get a? Oh wait, he did get in at bat because it was the one
yeah, not
game.
bad.
It was
Yeah,
like
Tommy. Yeah,
game
Pham wanted him to
winner
get a bat. It was 2,
because Tommy
but
Yeah.
was
Tommy
like
Pham
4
like
for
beat his ass.
4. So, um,
That's another good comment
yeah,
right there. Yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna start the season on the opening day roster. Like he's gonna
I
have
think
to
it
have
just
a
depends
really good
on
spring training.
yeah.
I
the
don't
door's
think
open for
Torrey
him.
was.
The door's open for him. I don't know if he'd be the opening day like starting shortstop. I definitely think he could be on the opening day roster at least.
Yeah, I don't think Torrey was impressed with him when he came up. I think he
still
was
want to
probably.
know who he was yelling about in that article from months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
We know
For those who don't
it
know,
was
there was an
Lawler.
article about Tory telling somebody, that they're being effing selfish or something like that, having to set somebody straight. It was about a week or so since Lawler got called up when what he did something about. I know during that week he either was
I think
told to
he
bunt.
swung. Yeah, he swung when he
Yeah,
was supposed
he
to
was
get a
told
bunt
to
sign.
bunt, and then he
Yeah,
swung and
he
got
put a
his
button sign
first
down.
MLB hit or whatever. And then a little while later, that's when Tory he got interviewed and he said that he had to set somebody straight. And then after that, Lawler didn't really get too many at bats.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, after that, Lawler literally got nothing. Like he did
Yeah.
not see the field whatsoever, and that's why I'm like, it was definitely Lawler. So hopefully that opened some eyes for him. Hopefully he was working on some stuff during the off season. I want Domo to make another huge step. Like he made a huge jump from 22 to 23. I want to see him make another big jump, 23 to 24. We know he can hit that big hit. Like he is like there's a reason why he was the running and scoring position king last year. Like there were so many big time hits he had to drive in runs. His power, just work on it just a little bit. He had at least 5 or 6 almost home runs that died on the track. If he can work on that, I think that's his next big step is showing that power. Not just home runs, being able to hit those line drives into the gap, which could be end up doubles or triples.
Yeah, I just thought about something too. What about McCarthy, Jake McCarthy? He's kind of the odd man out now, isn't he? We have 4 guys who can play the field. I doubt they're gonna, send him down or anything, but I think if he starts off relatively hot here or in Reno, I don't know, could end up being a pretty big trade piece.
Yeah, so
I
because
think-
you want to have depth, so it's nice to keep him around. But I definitely think they're gonna package him along with like a Fletcher, because I mean like Dominic Fletcher too. Like one of those two
Yeah.
is not gonna be here, and like both of those guys are not like you can't hide them in AAA forever. So like
Yeah.
maybe you package them both, and maybe some other high rated prospect that's not Lawler or Lynn. And maybe you go get Dylan Cease. I'm just kidding. Let me cope.
What about Luis Castillo?
Oh, wait. Who? From
Luis
the Mariners?
Castillo? Is he with the Mariners or is he with the Reds now?
No, he's with the Mariners now. No, he's
No.
their ace. There's no way we're getting him from the Mariners
Yeah.
unless we want to like pry him. And he's getting a pretty hefty contract.
I don't know. It's Mike Hazen in Seattle. You never know.
Yeah,
the Mariners
with
is
Gary
fleeced at a
DeBozo there.
51% winning percentage, and then we can get, we can get Castillo from him. Once they hit that 54%, they're holding tight.
Luis Castillo for Pavin Smith and Don Fletcher. Let's do it.
Who says no? Okay, Mark.
Seems legit.
No, definitely.
But no, I think
Seriously, like I don't know what it is, but he gets them. Mike Hazen has fleeced them like 3 times.
is there a pitcher from the who's that bullpen pitcher from the Mariners? Like Munoz? Maybe package like another like Jake McCarthy, someone else for Munoz. Like, hey, we'll take him.
Way. That one, I think he's more untouchable than Castillo. Like he is their best.
He's there. Like he's the reason why they traded away Seawald. Yeah.
Yep.
I just like the dream, just because sometimes playoffs are like the one time, like last year when the Mariners made it, the D-backs went in, got to see more playoff baseball, just like every year, watch playoff baseball. Got to see him, and I was like, "Who's this guy out of nowhere? This guy is throwing 102-mile-an-hour sinkers." And then from that day on, it plants the seed in my brain where I'm like, "I want him on my team. I want him on
I
my
mean,
team."
we have someone that's similar to him. Actually, we have two really. Frias and Justin Martinez. Guys that can
Dude, I'm
throw
really
some
excited for
serious
J-Mart.
heat.
That's kind of why I think the D-backs are in a good spot
His
to if
command.
they didn't add to the bullpen, or if they didn't get another starter, like if this was their final move, which again I don't think it is, and I hope it's not. Now that they at least have somebody who's a full committed DH, I'm a little more confident in going into trusting their depth a little bit more than where we were a week ago.
Or this morning.
Yeah, I think I saw
true.
some people mention maybe Gary Sanchez or something like that.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Love
I've
that.
seen
Probably
a
not.
lot of people say that one.
It's
It's
smart
a good
and
move,
it works
but
on
we have
paper.
Kevin Newman. We have Kevin Newman now, so I'm like, I don't know. We have a couple of catchers that we still got to test out. So I'm like, I don't know if we would want to spend that money and dedicate it to Gary Sanchez platooning with
I just
Joc,
think
but
he's gonna cost more than Joc is. So I'm like, if we're gonna spend more money on offense, I'd rather go to JD or Soler, personally.
Yeah.
Gary's selling us more now than he did when he was our GM. That is so true, Oscar.
Yeah.
That is definitely the truth. So my last thoughts here are solid signing. There's a lot of upside there. Like Derek said near the beginning, it's very low risk. It's not a lot of money. So it's like if he doesn't pan out, and like say he doesn't pan out, we could flip him at the trade deadline. Like he is definitely one of those guys we could end up. So yeah, I thought about this over the last few days too. Like trade Jake for a right-handed outfielder. I think Alex showed in the postseason that Troy needs to give him a chance against lefties.
Yeah, trust him.
Yeah.
Not
he
just
did it. He did it in the minors.
So I don't like when managers completely don't even let a guy try. I'm like, give him a few weeks of that lefty-lefty matchup. If he shows he can't do it, then yeah, that's it. But like some people, like David Peralta, for a very long time, lefties, he would sit. Like they wouldn't even try. Like it was just that bad. So
he really did make an improvement once he came back up from Reno, though. Like his I'm gonna try to find some like FanGraphs numbers with their, now that I know how to do their split machine, and look up from when he got called back up from Reno and see his splits versus righty lefty, just all that, because I'm pretty sure he made a pretty decent improvement just in general of his hittings, but especially against lefties. Like yeah, maybe not like more base hits here and there, but just I think quality of at bats wise, the pitches he saw, the swings he took were just better in general on righty and lefty.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he can also make a massive improvement. Yes. Before it was roll over right to first base, or that spot between first and second that's kind of in right field. He would roll over all the time on that. He went back down and you saw it a lot less. Like it was something that they're like, we're sending you down to work on this specifically, because it's the one thing that he struggled with offensively. We know what he is defensively. We know he is a future Gold Glove winner. He was a finalist this last year. Had he played longer, I think he would have had a shot. Yeah, that helps too. 11 pitch at bat ending in a home run. Pretty phenomenal there for Alex Thomas. But no, we'll have to wait and see. I do feel like there's one more major move coming, and then we'll have a bunch of just roster filling stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. Brett, any parting thoughts today?
No, I mean, just again, not really the DH one. I wasn't even expecting them to sign a DH, and this wasn't the one I expected them to sign. But honestly, after going through the the initial like emotions of like, oh no, I wanted this guy or I wanted this guy or what are the downsides in this, I think this just in general pretty solid signing, fits the team's needs, helps around us out as a club in general, and didn't break the bank. So overall, I think it's a win for a signing.
Gabe, parting thoughts?
Yes, same. I think it's low risk enough, and they're not paying him enough where it'll be hard to cut him. They could always make a trade at the deadline to get somebody else if they really need to. If somebody shows that they're worth it, and if if our young guys, if our 1 through 9 guys aren't wearing big pearl necklaces next year when they're batting, I will riot. I need that in my life.
We need a group photo. We definitely need a group photo when they first report, like Dbacks Twitter, Dbacks social. Can we please get this a pearl necklace photo? I think that would be absolutely.
Who's gonna have the cooler team home run celebration idea, Joc or Lourdes?
Ooh.
Because like I feel like Joc has had some spicy. It can have some spicy ones, but Lourdes just he has a fashion sense.
Yeah,
Definitely does. Everyone, we do appreciate everyone that was joining us here live for the very first time. We figured this was a good opportunity, one little story to talk about. So we appreciate everyone that watched with us live. Josh, Derek, Michaela, O Martinez, William, Oscar, everyone. We appreciate you all for tuning in live. Definitely helped us out. We will be recording another episode this weekend, so most likely that will be up Saturday or Sunday. It's gonna be something special, y'all. I'm very excited to see how that recording goes. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure to like the video. Comment with what you feel with this Joc Pederson signing is. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future videos, and also make sure to hit that bell too, so that will let you know whenever we post a new video or when we go live. Because once the season starts, we'll be going live a lot, so you'll definitely want to check that out so we can experience this season together. We will see y'all next time.